Good afternoon. First of all, I want to express my gratitude to the International Trade Council for this great opportunity to showcase Barranquilla and the state of Atlantico as a strategic platform for your investment. My name is Maria Alejandra Enriquez. I am head of inbound investment at Pro Barranquilla, the investment promotion agency of the city of Barranquilla and the state of Atlantico in Colombia. This presentation is divided into three parts. I would start by providing some context and general facts about Barranquilla and the state of Atlantico. Then I will talk about reasons to invest in this territory. And then I will talk about industries of opportunity for investment. The state of Atlantico is located at the northern coast of the Colombian Caribbean region in the top corner of South America. Its capital city, Barranquilla, is known as the Golden Gate of Colombia due to its importance in the country's earliest economic development and industrialization. Barranquilla was pioneer in aviation, navigation, port development, among others. In the last 10 to 15 years, Barranquilla has been experimenting a new economic boom in which urban transformation has been key. In terms of population, the Atlántico has 2.6 million inhabitants, representing 5% of the national population and 23% in the Colombian Caribbean region. Barranquilla is the fourth most populated city in Colombia. Due to our location, the Atlántico is considered the consumption center of the northern coast of the country, with the potential of reaching 10 million consumers in a 200 kilometers radius. The state of Atlántico contributes with 4.4% of the national GDP, while the Caribbean region as a whole contributes with 15%. From 7 states that belong to the Colombian Caribbean region, the Atlántico represents 30% of its GDP. Between 2011 and 2016, construction had a great impact on the Atlántico's GDP. Its annual average growth was 18%, and today it is still a very dynamic sector, especially with the new urban developments in front of the Magdalena River. This city is also improving its levels of poverty and inequality. Figures have decreased in almost 50%, and the middle class has increased 26% between 2008 and 2017. In terms of foreign trade of the state of Atlántico, I would like to highlight that our territory has the most diversified exports in the region. We are in an industrial city that imports a lot of its raw material and transforms it into finished goods, adding value to local production. An example of this is the agrochemical and fertilizer industry, in which raw materials are being imported, transformed, and then sent to foreign markets like Brazil. Our main destination countries are the United States, Brazil, and Mexico, whereas our imports come from the US, China, and Japan. Some companies with an export vocation in Barranquilla are Tecnoglass, Monómeros, Gralco, Unifos, and Procaps. On the second part of the presentation, I will talk about the main reasons to invest in the state of Atlántico. Companies like Komatsu, CPL, CHM Mining, Alama, Wasson Medical, among others, have already discovered the advantages of being in a city like Barranquilla. Location and strategic connectivity are key in any business. Atlántico offers a multimodal logistic platform with fluvial, air, land, and telecommunications connectivity, which allows companies to take advantage of the existing international trade agreement of Colombia with market access to a potential of 1.5 billion consumers. Barranquilla is an industrial and port city that counts with a fluvial port in the Magdalena River and two maritime ports in less than 100 kilometers. Investments of the private sector in port activity has contributed to the consolidation of a port area comprised of 7 active ports of public use that mobilizes 12% of the cargo of the Colombian Caribbean region. We have access to 3 international airports. One is located in Barranquilla and the other 2 in neighboring cities in less than 1.5 hours away. We connect in less than 3 hours by air with the US and 1.5 hours with Panama. By land, we have fourth generation roads that connect the city with the rest of the country, allowing it to serve the domestic market as well. Given the current geoeconomic climate, where there's a trend of bringing production centers closer to consumer markets, the connectivity of Barranquilla and the Atlántico is key for companies looking for a nearshore location. In the last year or two, companies in Asia have been looking into Latin America to set up operations in order to serve the US market. The Port of Barranquilla offers 11 shipping companies and 23 routes available for foreign trade. Companies exporting from Barranquilla to Miami, for example, can have their cargo from 4 to 5 days with direct shipping in their destination. For companies using Colombia as an export platform, normally they set up operations in a free trade zone. In Colombia, a free trade zone is a delimited geographic area in which industrial services and commercial activities are carried out under special regulations on taxation, customs, and foreign trade. The Atlántico has an offer of 4 permanent free trade zones, each with a unique value proposition. The Barranquilla Free Zone is pioneer in the free zone regime in Colombia. They are located next to the port of Barranquilla, facilitating logistics on foreign trade. Sofia is a free zone located in the municipality Galapa, which connects the industrial corridor with the port area of Cartagena, which can be very interesting for companies using both the Barranquilla and Cartagena ports. La Cayena Free Zone is located in the industrial corridor called Juan Mina, which in terms of costs offers the most competitive prices in the Atlántico. It is located next to the Prosperidad Highway, which is a new road for heavy cargo that connects quickly with the port area of Barranquilla and the Deep Water Port project. And finally, our fourth free zone in Atlántico, it's called Palermo. This one is located on the other side of the Magdalena River in an industrial and logistic cluster that counts with port services, liquid terminals, industrial park, and a free zone area. In addition to the advantages of the free trade zones, the city of Barranquilla and some of the main municipalities of the Atlántico offer other tax incentives to new industrial companies. Incentives include up to 10 years of 100% exemptions of the industry and commerce tax, as well as the property tax. On this map, you can see the municipalities that offer these incentives and if they have any requirements to be eligible for the exemption. One of the greatest traits of Barranquilla as an ideal investment destination is its skilled labor. Barranquilla is the training center of all the Colombian Caribbean region, where the best universities and schools are located. Atlántico has an offer of around 800 certified higher education programs, and Barranquilla stands out as the second largest English-speaking population in the country. 84% of university graduates in Atlántico have a proficiency level of B2 in English. Additionally, take it into account that the city has a very diversified economy. It is easy for companies to find highly trained human capital. 54% of the industrial jobs in the Colombian Caribbean region are generated in Atlántico, allowing to develop a specialized workforce for the manufacturing sector. Public institutions like SENA, which is the National Learning Center, is a key ally for companies as they are able to develop customized, free of charge training courses for the employees. Barranquilla is one of the few cities in Colombia where the local government invests in programs that aim to increase competitiveness of local companies and their workforce. The English for Work program is an initiative of the mayor's office that aims to strengthen English proficiency levels of 1,500 people by 2023, so they can apply for a job in the BPO industry. Another initiative is called Barranquilla, a bilingual city. This one targets 187,000 students and 2,051 teachers of elementary, secondary, and middle school. This program is designed to turn public schools of Barranquilla in 100% bilingual institutions by 2023. In terms of quality of life, Barranquilla is a medium-sized city with competitive living costs for its inhabitants, with highly qualified health, educational, and entertaining services. According to Barranquilla Como Vamos Citizen Perception Survey, the residents of Barranquilla perceive the present and future of the city as optimistic. 76% of citizens perceive that Barranquilla is on the right track. 89% feel satisfied living in a city like Barranquilla, and 76% are satisfied with the cultural, sport, and recreational offer of the city. A great success for the local administration in terms of quality of life has been the Park Restoration Program, which started in the administration of Major Noguera, and today it has 3 consecutive periods of the program. Barranquilla has doubled its public space per square meter per capita, so any family can access a park in less than a 10-minute walk. The impact of park restoration was huge in terms of security, property tax revenue, productivity, among others. Barranquilla is also a great destination for hosting events. The construction of the Puerta de Oro Convention Center was key to place Barranquilla in the map on global events. In 2018, we hosted the Photo Meet from the IDB and the Central American and Caribbean Sports Game. This year, in March, we hosted the General Assembly of the Inter-American Development Bank in Barranquilla. Additionally, the Arena del Rio complex is a $400 million project that will be the largest development for entertainment, sports, and content generation in Latin America and the Caribbean. The arena will be a multifunctional complex with a capacity of 53,000 spectators and is the only roofed structure of the size in the region. This project includes a 5-star hotel, 100 luxury apartments, a television, music, and content production studio, 3 independent auditoriums, a museum, and a business club. This project will be located on the Gran Malecón, a privileged place facing the Magdalena River in Barranquilla. All of this context of Barranquilla in the state of Atlantico allowed us to position the territory internationally. For the 2019-2020 edition of the American Cities of the Future of the Financial Times, Barranquilla was ranked 7th in the top 10 for its performance in terms of investment promotion and attraction strategy. With this place, the city becomes the 2nd destination of the future of Latin America in the subject and shares the ranking with cities such as New York, Chicago, Greater Montreal, and Calgary. On this last section of this presentation, I will briefly talk about business opportunities in 3 industries that we have prioritized to attract companies that are looking to move their operations to a nearshore location. These industries are the metalworking industry, chemical and plastics, and food and beverages. Regarding the metalworking sector, Colombia is the 3rd largest steel producer in Latin America after Brazil and Mexico. However, our production is much lower than domestic demand. Of the annual demand for steel in the country, Colombia only produces around 46% of what is required, which means we have to import the remaining quantity from countries like Turkey, Japan, and China to supply domestic steel consumption. 66% of those imports enter Colombia through the port area of Barranquilla, and most of it gets transformed in the Atlantico to serve both domestic and foreign markets. Actually, the state of Atlantico is the main exporter of metalworking products in Colombia, with 22.6% of volume in the country's total exports. We have identified that the Atlantico is an ideal location for steel manufacturing companies to locally manufacture those products that are not produced in the Colombian market or those for which local production doesn't meet demand. These products include flat rolled steel, long steel, steel pipes, tubing, and bars. On the service side, there is also an opportunity to establish new steel service centers to attend the domestic market. Only in the Atlantico, we have around 600 companies in the metalworking industry. Last month, Ternium officially launched their steel production plant in the Atlantico, with a production capacity of 520,000 tons, tripling its capacity in Colombia. They will absorb the demand for long steel in the northern region of the country, which previously was served by imported products. As for the chemical and plastic industry, the chemical manufacturing is the second most important commercial activity in the country. Since 2005, this sector has shown an annual average growth of 11.6% due to high demand of other subsectors like petrochemicals, cosmetics, agribusiness, and others. In the Atlántico, this sector can have a significant impact on the state's exports. If we analyze our foreign trade, the agrochemicals and fertilizers subsector is the main export product of the Atlántico. The territory is responsible for 70% of Colombia's agrochemical exports, and in terms of crop protection, we produce 40% of the country's pesticide exports. The arrival of COVID-19 has provided some industries a great opportunity to supply the growing demand for essential products. The household and personal care industry in Barranquilla continues to grow, especially in the segment of disinfectant products, soaps, cleaners, and sanitizers. The plastic industry supplies face masks, syringes, surgical masks, and also plastic containers and packaging to facilitate the disinfection of products and boost consumer confidence. OPP Film Colombia is a Peruvian company who started operations in the Atlántico last November. This was a $100 million project from the plastic industry. This plant produces plastic films for flexible packaging, serving both domestic and foreign markets from the location in Atlántico. Lastly, the pharmaceutical industry is concentrated in few pharmaceutical laboratories with large capacities for production, maquila, and export. This industry in Atlántico could eventually provide bottling services for the COVID vaccine or provide maquila services to locally produce it. The third prioritized sector is the food and beverages. Colombia is said to become a global food pantry and has the potential for agribusiness growth. Barranquilla has a great potential in the production of processed foods and beverages, while the rest of the state of Atlántico is mostly agricultural. The Atlántico is a privileged state. It has an exceptional location with available land suitable for agriculture and surrounded by bodies of water. In terms of logistics, the Port of Barranquilla is the only port in Colombia with a refrigerated and frozen warehouse to be used as a distribution center, facilitating foreign trade of food without breaking the cold chain. The governor's office is betting on this industry to reactivate the economy by modernizing and technifying the agricultural sector. They are also planning to develop an agribusiness park in the south of the state of Atlántico, aiming to set up sustainable agri-food production chains and reach growing urban markets with high-quality regional produce. The park will be integrated with an agro-logistic network that combine rural transformation centers and consolidation centers. Some of the opportunities in this industry include new food processing plants, beverage bottling facilities, farming, intermediate food product manufacturing plants, or manufacturing plants for allergen-free, organic, and or sustainable products. So with this quick overview of these three sectors in Atlántico, I finished my presentation. I hope it was very interesting for you And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them here or in the booth of Pro Barranquilla. Thank you very much.